This is my review on From Here to the Great Unknown by Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of Elvis Presley, and her daughter Riley Keough. As you can see, this is Lisa and her daughter Riley. From Here to the Great Unknown is basically recordings of Lisa Marie Presley done by her daughter Riley Keough the last month before her death. She always wanted to write her memoir, but unfortunately she didn't know how to start. So this is basically the work of a whole month before she passed. This book really confirms a lot of people's wonder of whether she was sad, because she always had such a really heavy, sad demeanor to her. And it turns out she was not only deeply depressed, but she was sad and then some. We learn about the heartbreak that Lisa Marie faces losing her father, how she could feel that he was not okay at such a young age, losing him and feeling all of a sudden very isolated. She was not close to her mom. Her mom, in a sense, her mom really neglected her emotionally. And my analysis from having read this book and also having read Elvis and Me, what I take away is that Priscilla was more into the men in her life than taking care of her daughter. I feel like, and I don't know if this comes from having been with someone such a young age and just wanting to be free, just wanting to know yourself, that you just don't want to deal with your daughter. Her melancholy through her teenage years, her substance abuse. There's also a part in the book, childhood years and teenage years, where her mother is involved with, I'm not sure if she married this man, I don't remember, but he would do things to her, inappropriate things to her, and her mother would just tell him, apologize to her, or he would tell her, did you probably do something to provoke this? And I was mind blown. I was absolutely mind blown that, I don't know if it was to keep this guy or whatever, her mother would just say sorry to her, just apologize to her. And he would say that that's what people in his country, or that's what French people would do, teach them how to do certain things. From then on, after her teenage years, we hear of her meeting Danny Keough, which then becomes her husband. And I think that was probably her most stable person in her life. But then somewhere along the line, Lisa has a demo tape that gets to the hands of Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson wants to meet up with her. At first she doesn't want to because she doesn't want to be a protege. But then Danny Keough says, go. She goes and she falls madly in love with him. I always wondered around this time if Michael had gotten her a stylist, because she looks pretty regal in the time that she was with him. I later found out that she was especially doing these things for him. She wanted to look good for him. Until one day, and here is a little short excerpt from the book. So here I was, all decked out, even though I hadn't slept all night. Danny said, come and get in bed with me. Actually, I can't do that, I said, and left the room. Danny came to find me. Let's talk, he said. What happened? Well, I said, Michael asked me to marry him and have children with him. What did you say? I said nothing. That's it then, Danny said. That's it. Forget it. And then Danny packed his bags, got the dog, and drove out the damn gate. Gone. This is the crazy part, though. Even though Danny Keough went into a lot of pain, he remained with her till the end of her days. Throughout her other relationships, he was still there with her. When she wasn't in a relationship, he would be living with her. This is also part of the reason that their marriage with Michael Jackson did not work, because he would disappear if he would be angry at her, and then she would go on vacation with her children, taking her ex-husband. And as we know here, her relationship with Michael was kind of toxic, because he didn't know how to talk things out. And he liked that she was confrontational and said the things that she felt, but when he had problems and she wanted to talk to him about them, he would shut her out. Their marriage ends when she tries to go see him at the hospital, and she sees these doctors around him prescribing things that they shouldn't, and she tries to talk to him about it and say, I'll go to rehab with you. He tells her, you're stressing me out, you have to go. And she decides she wants out. But something that the public or the general public might not know is that they continued dating for about 4 years after that, until she couldn't do it anymore. She felt like, I can't live my life like this. And she went cold turkey on talking to him, where she mentions that she was just sick to her stomach, basically missing him. And it's like having to detox your whole body from someone who made you feel so happy in life. As she describes, that was the happiest she ever was in her whole life, was her time with him. Which I feel compelled to say, because a lot of people like to trash their relationship, and I think that's something very important to put out there. After the Michael Jackson years, we see her going into a, basically her just going through life, through the motions of life. She's in a relationship with Nicolas Cage, then Michael Lockwood. Throughout that, Danny Keough remains in her life, and then her son passes. And here we just see her go through the addiction, the pain of losing her son and just not wanting to live anymore. And she stays with the body of her son for 2 months. She eventually lets go, but she doesn't want to be here in this world anymore. But she decides to be here because she had other twin girls, and at least to be there for other parents that have gone through the passing of a child. From then on, through her depression, her substance abuse, and her health issues, she eventually passes away. To close off this video, I will say I'm not going to rate this book because I'm not going to rate people's pain. But I will say that it is a very compelling book, it's very touching. A lot of people, like myself, had a sense that she was very sad and heartbroken, but wow. I'm not the only person who has, I've had a lot of messages saying, I did not expect this. Wow. I can't believe this. I can't believe Priscilla acted this way. I can't believe this is what was going on. I didn't expect that Michael and her relationship to be like that. The story of her son dying and staying with his body for 2 months. It's a life. It's a life. So go ahead and read it. That's all I can say.